New PANADO Pediatric Syrup 5ml sachets. They're really convenient to pack and easy to use, so you're always prepared for pain and fever, anytime, anywhere.
Well, Royal, I'm not giving you the latest on that, but I've invited an expert to make sure that they can break it down for us because, oh man, as we know, the seasons change, our bodies are affected in different ways. We start experiencing those, change of seasonal experiences. I'm talking about those sniffles. And we know that sniffles actually become very important during that time because they do signal it. It's a way to treat it. And here to give us the expert advice that we do need is general practitioner and a new friend of mine, really, because every time we get seasonal changes, I will be calling on Dr. Ryan Cholwell. It's so good to see you, Doc.
Hi, it's be so nice to see you too.
Change of season, right? Some people really do dread it because that's when we get to experience those very much dreaded symptoms that can be quite confusing. Why is it that our bodies go through all of these different changes during this time?
So I think the important thing to remember is that infections and viruses happen all year round. The seasons do tend to affect other conditions that sometimes get confused with infections like cold and flu.
Yeah.
But around this time especially, the flowers are out, the weather is changing, and often symptoms that look like cold and flu can actually be other things like sinusitis and hay fever and things like that, and we think that they're colds, but they're not. So yeah, there's many things that cause illnesses. So it's not possible just to link it to one thing, and even an expert or a doctor won't be able to tell you exactly what's going on all the time. But it does seem like things happen worse now, but if you look at statistics, it's pretty much an all year round thing.
But colds do certainly, without a doubt, start becoming a little bit more common as well around this time. Why is that the case?
Yeah, so every virus has a different time of year when it's more prominent. The viruses that cause colds, like rhinoviruses and enteroviruses, tend to be more prevalent in the winter months, especially. So we do notice them more at this time of year. And obviously that shifts around the world depending on where winter is. So, in South Africa, this time of year is the time of year where we get our peak. They do happen all year round, not just this time of year. But mostly it does happen at this time of year, so that's why you notice the uptick. Also, I think in the cold weather, everybody's staying indoors, staying close contact with each other, and as we know from COVID, close contact is what gets everybody sick. So that's where. And
when you mentioned part of the world playing an important role in that, I thought, well, being in Durban versus being in Joburg and versus being in Cape Town, that could even be part of the world to sort of contrast, which is very interesting. What are the main things to include then when you are trying to treat or even get that relief from those headaches that can be associated with these changes as we experience them? Yeah,
so I think it's important not to over-treat things as well. You know, people tend to overdose themselves on lots of different kinds of medication. Most of it doesn't have much of an effect. Most things that you get will get better on their own. But the basics are just really where it's at. So you want to treat with paracetamol, ibuprofen, things like that, those sorts of medications, anti-inflammatories. So mostly treating the symptoms, really. Our bodies are really good at taking care of these things. We've done it for millions of years. So, our immune systems are the things we want to keep healthy and active. And the way to do that is really just to be healthy and active. So keeping yourself well fed with the right things and exercising well all year round, that's what really prevents you from getting sick.
We do start to be aware of what happens when seasons change, for example, so it's really just about preempting those moments before they do come through and attack or play on our immune systems. But sometimes you've got to see a doctor. Sometimes it's not as simple or as easy and straightforward as opening your cupboard and grabbing something. When should we be seeing a doctor? what symptoms will signal that it's time?
Yeah, I think that's a really good question, because it's not really a set in stone thing that I can give you a list of things when you need to see a doctor and when not. I think an important rule of thumb is if you think you need to see someone, then go and see someone. Yeah. But most of the time, you're okay to wait a few days. I think people get impatient. We want to get better quickly. Most of these things take at least 7 to 10 days to get better. So you're good to give yourself about a week. And if things aren't better after a week, then definitely come see the doctor. Yeah. Also, if you're feeling very severe symptoms, you know, most of us have had a cold or flu in our lives, so we sort of know what to expect. Yeah. If there's something unexpected, you're short of breath, you've got a very high temperature that doesn't want to go away.
You're worried.
Yeah, exactly. Then you should be seeking some professional advice. Yeah. Sometimes the professional advice will just be stay at home and rest.
And the best person to be able to tell you that would be your GP. Well, listen, thank you so much, Dr. Caldwell, for joining us today. And you've come at the perfect time, because I am experiencing a number of those symptoms. So put it here, you're my new GP. There we go. Now with seasonal changes on your doorstep, you now have all the information that you need to combat the sniffles that do come along with it. But also, we know that it can be a place that comes with lots and lots of relief, and there are many products as well as many interventions in that space. Thanks so much again, Doctor.
Thank you.
Being a parent can be challenging, but stepping out is when things get real complicated. That's why new PANADO Pediatric Syrup 5 ml sachets are here to make the job easier. They're really convenient to pack and easy to use, so you're always prepared for pain and fever, anytime, anywhere. PANADO, a dose of care.